Hey everyone, it's me, Mewbot.
What's up, Mewbot? Good to see everyone here. Everyone's saying Brian Sus in the chat right there. Lot of Brian Sus going on right here. What is up? We're about to start office hours. We'll start with some fun though. Everyone knows right now we have
Evil Mewbot. No! The boss was supposed to appear. Oh, boss enter. This is the right button. There we go. That's how we do it. And then we're supposed to go over here.
Oh no, the lightning didn't flash. You work on something and what is the screen broken now? We'll keep working on it. Mewbot, what did you do? What did you do, Mewbot? What'd you do to the background? Oh, I think everything's working. There it goes. I don't know. Sometimes these animated backgrounds stop on me, and I really don't like that. We'll figure it out. Has it already been asked? Can you quickly show how to connect my Pearson to the canvas for the homework? You bet. Let's drop that video in the chat right here. So let me go show this off. How's everyone doing today? How is everyone doing? I want to start with a little bit of fun here. I was working on this last night. Sorry, you probably just heard that in the background. But I was working on this last night, trying to get it to work. Just so you can see again what's supposed to happen. I'm going to use this for class more. Everyone's doing good. Andrew's doing good. Abby's doing good. What's supposed to happen is I go boss enters.
And then the boss enters. And I probably need to stay on the screen for a little bit. Awesome day, beautiful day outside. And it's still got the check mark. And then we go boss leave.
Oh, I'll have to put a delay. You saw me for a second. So testing things out, but I have it so it's one button now. I still have to hit the voice changer though. And my backgrounds, I noticed this one's doing it now. Okay, we'll figure it out. Anyways, let's go check out that video here. Let's go check out that video. Let's get serious. Fun's over. It's gonna snow. What? It's official office hours time. No more fun. This space is so welcoming. So glad to hear that, Sarah. So glad to hear that. I would love some snow too. So this is how to connect my Pearson to Canvas. So I'm going to drop this in the playlist right here. Dawson says, what? For snow. This is how to connect my Pearson to Canvas. Please do this immediately. There is no code you will enter in. You will go to the class. Let me turn off the audio here. So you will go to our class. This is what you will do. You will go to our class, and then you will go to where it says Vital Source Bookshelf. So there's no code. There's no code. A lot of people say, what's the code, Brian? What's the code? What's the code? Don't worry, there's no code. You're probably someone you're like, yeah, I asked you, Brian. There's no code. I have 8 inches of snow here. You can send it my way too. We got snow in Texas. Pretty crazy, right? And then you go to Vital Source Bookshelf. On Vital Source Bookshelf, you go to Launch Courseware, and it's gonna connect into my Pearson because there's no code because it connects in. You're gonna go to Open, and this video is there. So if you're like, slow down, Brian, slow down. It's up there. I just posted it. You'll read through the whole agreement. You'll click Accept. Next, you'll go to Enter your account. If you don't have one, you'll create an account. That's Keenan right there who did that. He just moved the mouse all crazy. Thank you, Keenan, for helping out with this video. But he did the student because he's like, hey, because I said I didn't have a video. I said this this is 2 years ago. I didn't. There you go, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I said in Stats 1, I don't have a video from the student side of it, what it looks like. If anyone could capture video footage of that, he sent it to me like that night. He was like, here you go. And I was like, well, thank you. And so thank you, Keenan, for filming this for us. But Keenan is awesome right there. Keenan's, I shouldn't say something. Great guy. Really helped out a lot, and I really appreciate it. And there it is. That's got it. So make sure to connect my Pearson to Canvas. Who wants to knock out all the my Pearson work? Who's with me? Can I get some I'm raised in the chat right now? Could drop another 20 points. Also, I don't know. Let's get some hype in the chat right now for let's get all the my Pearsons done. We're gonna start at the very beginning. A very good place to start. When you begin this course, you begin with chapter 1. Stats start here. Let's go. Let's drop some 20 points in the chat. 20 points. I almost did 21. Everyone would probably go crazy. You had like 21 points. OP. Overpowered. 51 people. Thank you so much, Adam. Yeah, I've been sending out more announcements. Hey, Professor Steven, statistics speaking, should I buy game stuff right now? I heard it went to like 150 yesterday. I don't know. Here, you know what we try to do in statistics? Really quick talk on that. We measure and we understand variation. And I can tell you there's going to be a lot of variation in GameStop right now. GameStop stock. There's going to be a lot of variation. So I don't. Oh, it's at 340 right now. It was at $4 last year at this time. $4. Hey, let's just put it this way. You're not going to see the kind of increases unless it gets to like 3,000. But for people who bought it last year and have now seen a return on their money that is 100 times their money, like let me just put $1,000 in the GameStop and then you get $100,000. And you're like, yeah, I could have bought like, a video game system with this. Now I can buy like a house. That's a pretty, I mean, good house, depending where you live. Depending where you live, buy AMC. I don't know. I do not give stock advice on this channel. I do not give stock advice. Let me just put that out there. I don't give stock advice. No stock advice will be given from Brian. Here's my best advice. My parents have done pretty well in the stock market. Buy stock and then hold it for 40 years. That's the only plan I've witnessed firsthand working, is buying stock and then holding on to it for 4 decades. It seems what stocks? I don't do stocks. I wish I did. I've got like I think I got a 401k. Give you some tips right there. Let's hop to the assignment here. We'll get serious. You ready? 4 minutes in, because we start at 1 p.m. 4 minutes in, let's get serious. Let's do chapter 1 homework. Now, what is the point? You know what? I might open this up on my Pearson because I think I can open it bigger. Let me see. If I go here in new tab, is it going to get mad? Or is it going to do a new tab? It looks like it got mad. Because when I click this, I think it's going to go. Can I go to like open on my Pearson? 2 seconds, everybody. We want this big screen, right? We want this big screen. We're going to go ahead and open this on my Pearson. So there's a mosaic plot for you. While we do this, we're going to go to my Pearson. We're going to open this up so that way we can see it full screen. It's just much easier to read. So I'm pulling up the assignment as we speak. Yes, it looks like most everyone's signed up. So we're going to get serious here, and as serious as we get, and start working on chapter 1 homework. What is some of the big concepts in chapter 1 homework? So let's go to replace questions. We're going to do every question. Boom. Here we go. What are the big conceptual things you should know in chapter 1, like immediately? Does it mean you can do it on Pearson or Canvas? You'll see me oftentimes go to my Pearson just so it becomes full screen. I do want to say one thing, and great job right there, Kevin. I do want to say that it takes a moment for them to connect. Like if you do it on Canvas or either my Pearson, it doesn't send the grade immediately, which is weird to me. But don't worry if your grades are not showing up. Just tell me if there's an issue. Just wait maybe like a day. But sometimes it doesn't send it immediately. And Daria and everyone, and good to see you, Lee, they are saying types of variables. That is the keyword here. And look how big I can make the text so we can all read it nice and easily. And this is, what kind of animal do you own? Or would you rather have this type of animal? There are 3 types of variables. What is the only type of variable that is missing on here? And technically it's a subtype of one of these. What is the only type of variable that is missing on this screen right now? And it's technically a subtype of one of these. These are things we should know instantaneously. Like we're practicing our knowledge, and right, Kevin's got it. Identifier right there, going quick answers right there. It's an identifier. An identifier would identify, like this would be person ID. Like if we talk to person 1, person 2, person 3, I got some burbs on my shirt. So, hey, burbs. So this is going to be categorical. You might be saying, why is this categorical? Because it puts things into groups. Through visualization number 2. Yeah, we could do that afterwards, Sarah. We'll do this right here. We'll do this, and then we can go back and talk some Viz 2. You got it. Definitely, Sarah. We've got lots of time today. We're good. We got like another 80 minutes, 83 minutes. We can, Jonathan. We can. We did that yesterday some too, but we can definitely go back and talk through that. You got it. So we have right here 75 milligrams. So this is how much of a substance. Let's see right here. The researchers measure how many hours. So what does this sound like? How do you know if a variable is quantitative? When you ask the question, these are the big things we should know immediately. If a variable is quantitative and we ask the question like how many or how much, that means it's quantitative. So if I were to show you the following, this is about to be a trick question. Are we supposed to have, they'll be similar. This is chapter 1 homework. So we're doing chapter 1 homework. They will be similar. But I want you to tell me, be very careful. Is this, and this is visualization number 3, I think. We did Viz 3 yesterday some. Did I label that video correctly? I want you to tell me. I think I might have mislabeled it. Is this categorical or quantitative data? Be very careful. Be very careful. You're going to have to read what's on the screen. You're going to have to read what I highlight here. And is it categorical or quantitative? Is this categorical? Let's get some votes in the chat. Is it categorical or quantitative? So is the data that I've circled, right here categorical or quantitative? Only a few people answered so far. Highlight some hints. I can't trick you. It is categorical. Someone's like going to put quant to be like, he's trying to trick us, right? You might say, Brian, these are numbers. I thought you said when it's numbers, it's quantitative. You have to look to the question, though, that was asked. Does everyone understand right here? Greek life is a categorical variable. Are you in Greek life? Yes or no. Distance from campus is asked categorically. It's not how many miles are you from campus. It's what distance group are you in? Are you on campus? Are you in the Ford? Are you in a 10-minute drive? But this is a group you would belong to. And what kind of categorical variable is this? Big thing we should know. What kind of categorical variable is this right here? Who knows in the chat? This is a subtype of categorical. There's two types of categorical variables. One of them is nominal. This one, this is practicing our knowledge, is ordinal. Ordinal means it can be put in an order from like a distance metrics right there. It could be stake preference, like from rare to well done. Nice job, Kajal. So we have right here an ordinal categorical variable. Is Greek life ordinal or nominal? So Greek life, is Greek life ordinal or nominal? So this categorical variable right here, is that ordinal or nominal? So remember, ordinal means it can be put in an order. You can call me a KP. Oh yeah, if you prefer that, I will. So I will call anyone whatever they prefer to be called. Just remind me, be like, it's KP Brian. I'll be like, got it. So nominal. And this is just like saying, you know, there's Tennesseans and there's Texans. I'm a Tennessean. So I'm a New Yorker. But everyone is, you know, people on the earth or whatever. Like categorical variables are the global idea. And then ordinal and nominal are subtypes. Like nominal has no order to it and ordinal has order to it. So really good practice right here. Does the repeating numbers also tell us that it's categorical? So a good way to tell if it's versus categorical versus identifier. Really good question, Daria, right there. So to differentiate between a categorical variable and an identifier, if you have data and if you ever see it repeat, this pen is possessed. If you ever see it repeat, like if you have groups right here and you have like yes, yes, no, yes, that means it must be categorical and not identifier. But if you have something like a favorite movie and you have pirates right here, you have Back to the Future, you have, I don't know, Jurassic Park, hey, GP right there. And you have, I can't think of another movie, Donnie Darko. So Donnie Darko, okay. So you have favorite movie right here, worst handwriting ever. But would this variable favorite movie be an identifier? It does not repeat. Back to the Future, Jurassic Park, Pirates of the Caribbean, Donnie Darko, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It hasn't repeated yet. Like our JP is elite. Is it an identifier? Is it an identifier? And I'll let you think this over as I put it in a nicer way to look at it. So, let's go right here. And let's say favorite movie. Would favorite movie be an identifier? Would favorite movie like Gattaca? Go check out Gattaca if you haven't. Seriously, Jump? Jump, what you doing? Everything is possessed today. Jurassic. Would favorite movie be an identifier? Would favorite movie be an identifier? Thoughts on this? Would favorite movie be an identifier? Yes or no? Would favorite movie... I need a yes or no from the chat. I need chat's help right here. No, because it could repeat. This is a key thing. Things that are identifiers, it's not if we see them repeat. It's that they can never repeat, no matter what. Now, we could have person we talk to. So this is favorite movie. And an identifier would be survey ID. Something like this would be like the person we talked to right here, like survey ID 1. And it's super mad at me. I have no idea why. There we go. Look at that. We're going to delete this. It's probably going to be like, you can't delete this column. Cool. And survey ID right here would be an identifier now because this is going to be the 7th person we talked to. It just can never repeat. So you could have something like Donnie Darko, awesome movie, but Donnie Darko could repeat. And even if we don't see it repeat, it's the idea that it could repeat, like someone can give you the same favorite movie. So we understand what identifiers are, we understand what categorical variables are, and we're almost done with homework 1. So we have someone's weekly food budget. Someone phrased this question to me. This is how to ace the test. How would you ask someone this question? I need someone in the chat to, if you know how to ace the test, if we ask you if something's categorical, quantitative, or identifier, when it's quantitative, hints for the Kahoot, you would say something like, how much is this? When it's categorical, you'd say, like, what group is it in? When it's identifier, you'd say, which one is it? Because identifiers identify. So how would you phrase this question? How much you spend on groceries? Boom, that means it's quantitative. If you can say that right there, you know it's quantitative. How would you phrase this one? This is the state a respondent lives in. How would you phrase this question when asking it to someone? Would you say, it's weird, you wouldn't say like which one state were you born in, like which state identifies you? I know that sounds like it's a way of saying it, but it's not going to be unique. Hint, hint, hint. It's not identifier. But what would this be? What would this be? What would this be? How would we phrase this question? This is the way to practice for the test. It is categorical. You are correct. And how would we phrase the question when asking it to someone? How would we collect data on this? Everyone is right. It is cat. What state? Exactly. What state are you born in? Boom. Categorical. And that's just a good way to practice to be like, it's categorical because I have to say, what state are you born in? I'm not going to say, how much is your state? And that's why when you see things like zip code, why is zip code, like we have zip codes right here, 37916, and we have like, what's that one? 14810, magic color change pen. So how would you ask someone your zip code? Would you say, how much is your zip code? I think everyone knows the answer to this. You wouldn't say, how much is your zip code? It's a number, but you don't phrase it, how much is your zip code? You would say, what is your zip code? And zip codes could be identifiers in some data sets, but if a zip code repeats, or if it could repeat, like if you're doing data on zip codes, then zip codes could be the identifier. But great job points, everybody. We'll throw out some more points at the end. We just did the first homework. So by this point right now, you should have 100 on the first homework. Who wants to get 100 on the first quiz? Let's go knock out that first quiz and review the topics right here. Let's go do this. Assignment manager. And we'll do all of these every week. That's my plan. So let's go do quiz 1. Where's those quizzes at? Everyone having fun in chat? Look at this. Oh, is it? There's only, yeah. Oh my gosh. We're going to get way more done. I thought chapter 2 is not even due to next week. What? Okay, here we go. Lots of questions here. Let's review. Easy stuff. We're going to destroy this. So you'll see your questions probably. So let's do this. Yes, sir. We are covering ground. You got it. So this question right here, the state a respondent lived in, since we've said it about 10 times, it's categorical. Okay, cool. Next then. Go to the next question. Weekly student budget. This is a repeat. There are some repeat questions. They just can reappear. Democrat. How would you phrase this question when talking to somebody? So we have Democrat, Republican, Independent, Other, no response. So what would you... So how would you phrase this question talking to somebody? This is a way to practice for the test. You're like, okay, is it categorical, quantitative, or identifier? Which is what you should ask yourself. And then there are the subtypes. Let me point to the way I would do this. Anytime you encounter a variable, we're going to do the super way of understanding these questions, like the top tier way. So you should ask yourself the following. It could be any of these, identifier. Okay, so here are the types of variables it could be. We're going to move this. Cool. Really? There we go. Here are the types of variables it could be, and everyone's right, it is categorical. And then what are our 2 subtypes of categoricals? We have here ordinal. You have to hear these things like 10 times. You'll be like, I know ordinal, nominal, Brian. I got this down. Ordinal, nominal. And then the subtypes for quantitative are discrete and continuous. Continuous. Close enough. So just nice job, Abby. Yeah, we can just abbreviate continuous, discrete, and identifier. And let's put a star on the identifier. We're going to put a star right here, or a dot, because identifiers are special types of what variable? Identifiers are special types of what variables? Identifiers are special types of what variables? They're special categorical variables. They're categorical variables that are groups of one. So identifiers are special types of categorical variables. So they are still categorical variables. Like they are still a type of categorical. But if you know this right here, this is like the key knowledge. And we cover this in 320. It's like we have to know our variable types. We have to know what we're working with. So with that knowledge, we might just blink over that in a moment. But that's categorical. We're just going to destroy this quiz and we're going to do the next quiz, which is probably where a lot of people go to. We want to know if someone gets a large or small pet. What is the size of your pet? So what is the size? Categorical. We want to know how long it takes. So how long does it take for a substance to leave the bloodstream? Quantitative. We want to know what is your response to a question. So what was your response? We want to know what was your response to your finances. We want to, we'll slow down if you want. How many minutes did it take? So what do you think here? We're slowing down. I think with our knowledge of how to handle these questions, we're good. Like knowing that all quantitative questions can be phrased in a like a how much, and all categorical can be phrased in a like what group do you belong to. So what do you think here as I like hyper speed through these? Because there's not too much concept to cover right here. I'm slowing down for you to answer this one for me because I did 4 of them, so you can do one. Why is weekly food budget not quantitative? It should be quantitative. They might have switched the order, Megan. Double check. Weekly food budget should be quantitative. This one is quantitative here. And just so you can see, I think that was our question 1. Their weekly food budget is quantitative. Double check. And yours will only have 5 questions. I actually do all of them, Will. So I do every single one you could encounter. So if you attend office hours, there's random questions you will get, and I often do all of them, and I try to discuss the topic. So it's just, if you notice, I took more time going through. Let me send that to me, Megan, and I'll double check it. But no, good questions, Sam. I do all the questions and then review the topics. So it should be 5 questions for everyone. The state, this is one we did also. I really tried to, like when we made these, we tried to add as many questions as we could, but there's not that many concepts. We would see here that this is quantitative, and I don't know why I would have counted anyone wrong, but we just did every single question we should know, and we learned it like this. So I hope people understand that the key concept right here is understanding variable types, and we just did all of them, and this is what you should know. These are like your key notes right here that you should know. There's 3 types of variables. Categorical variables can have order, which would be like stake preference, or they can, I can show you the visualization 2 video. We did that during office hours. Let me go grab you that video real quick. And I'm going to show some people some things right here. And I will do that a little later today, or if everyone voted. You know what we're going to do a vote real quick. So let's bring it to a vote, because I think people want more, but I mean, I shouldn't just say I think that. I should do a vote. Okay, so we're going to vote on what to do. So let's say here, my Pearson is 0. We're going to do more by Pearson or visualization 2, because a few people have mentioned that. I'm going to put a video for visualization 2 in the chat. So if you vote on this right now, you'll see it in the chat. So you can vote 0. So there we go. Jonathan, you're voting for visualization 2. And so that's perfectly fine. So, and vote, you get the votes. So we're going to give it just a moment here. Oh, look, it's a good thing I brought it to a vote. Well, here we go. That's why I bring things to votes. I don't know everything. So it looks like I'll put the zoom on my Zoom screen. I think we have a winner. We will go do some visualization 2. It is your call how to handle office hours. Yeah, let me send the link to the video. So I've got a visualization playlist. I probably need to update it, and I think I might update. There's an issue with Max. Please realize I made these visualization videos last semester. It's kind of the people have spoken. I agree. Viz playlist. So this is the visualization playlist from last semester. I also have, let me just show it right here and bring down the video. So here is the visualization playlist. You can just like track how much my hair grows every month by just watching the videos. Oh, we're zoomed in still. So this is the visualization playlist I just dropped in the chat. You should also see at the Statue1 YouTube channel office hours, which are live. Thank you, 57 people watching. And you can also see here the office hours. And here's a really great thing. I don't know if people know this, but if you go back to a video, as long as I'm keeping up with things, which I try to do, you can see underneath the video what we did. So you can see right here, here's Statue1 weekly advice. Here's weekly advice. Here's visualization 2, shape center spread. Here's visualization 2. But if you go underneath the videos, you will see that there are timestamps and you can click anything you want to go to and it'll go right to that portion of the video. So all the videos have timestamps, the lectures have timestamps, so you can tell like what is going on in the video. And if you just hover over it, it'll tell you what it is. Or you can just go down here and Control F. So anyways, good stuff right there, or you can watch us play Among Us. So let's do some visualization 2. 2 seconds here, and we'll get started on visualization 2. What questions are there currently on visualization 2? Should we start at the very beginning? Very good place to start. Let's go grab visualization 2. Let me stop the vote. Sounds like, I think the winner is. Let me go grab it. I'm pulling a visualization 2 as we speak. Do not wait till the night these are due to start them. I mean, I know a lot of people do. It's all right. I probably would do the same, but if I was in class. But word of advice, especially, is to get started early. And when you have a problem, let us know. So anytime you run into a problem with these, like jump one, install, especially for the first one right here, I'm probably going to send out an announcement being like, just so everyone knows, some people are having issues installing jump. Or you could run just using it for the first time. Confused on step 3. Should we jump right to step 3? A few people were mentioning that. Who wants to jump right to step 3? I'm just going to do yeses or nos in the chat. Right up for number 3. Yeah, we can jump right to number 3. We got some yeses in the chat. People were mentioning that. Who were like, hey, number 3, let's do number 3. So we got yeses in the chat. Only one no. So it looks right now like, ooh, okay, let's see right here. Don't vote option 0. Don't vote, or let's just do, we're going to do a quick vote, and then we're going to go from there. Quick vote. So what to do, let's remove these options, remove all. Okay, so beginning or 3. Okay, 3 is, so you vote 0 or 1. So vote for start at the beginning or jump to 3. So vote 0 or 1. I'm going to let this go for 30 seconds. So let me put on my timer, 30-second timer on this. Or if it just, ooh, put your vote in. I'm going to go straight to whatever people say. Beginning's winning out. People perked up and we're like, whoa, what? So if you can see, just so everyone sees which ones you're voting on. Oh, beginning's winning. That's game over. Sorry for people. It was close, but beginning rocketed to the lead right there. Rocket League. I don't know what I'm talking about. Okay, I'm calling the timer. Well, let's do this. Let's do this. Thank you, everybody. Here in voting, let's do this. Let's zoom back out here. Okay. So we're going to start at the very beginning of this. And the first thing we want to do right here is take a random, sorry, Jonathan. John putting the sad face in the chat. Okay, so if you do not have Jump installed on your computer, this file won't open. A very important thing right now is that when you're looking at this file, you should see that this file has a, it should have a green icon on it. That means Jump is associated with it. And if it says there's no file or no program associated with it, please click the Install Jump playlist and install Jump. So I just sent the playlist in the chat to install Jump if you're watching this in the future or right now and you don't have Jump installed. If you have a license issue, there's a video in the playlist on how to install the license. And let me know if you just can't get it working. Unfortunately, some people might have to talk to OIT, probably 5% of people. So here's the deal. If you're watching this right now and you don't have Jump installed, start installing Jump because some people will run into issues and you don't want to be working on it Friday night at 11:50 trying to get Jump to install. So do it now. So let's go ahead and click the file. Because it's an associated Jump file, it's automatically going to open. I'll let you see on my screen over here. It opened up. I've got like 10 windows opening in front of me, and I just need to click the open button right here. So this is going to open on my other screen, the Jump file. So this is what a Jump file looks like. What does this look like to everybody right now? Like, does this look like another program to you a little bit? Like, does this look somewhat like another program? A little bit. Little bits. Little bits. Little bits. That's how we code in 320. We code in little bits. I gotta play that today. Gotta remind them we code in little bits. We don't code a whole bunch at one time. So this looks like Excel. Exactly. Everyone's right. This looks a lot like Excel. We've got this over here where things are blue or red. The blue ones are quantitative. The red ones are categorical. You can put things into a ordinal categorical or nominal, and it's just if you click right here, you can select between quantitative, which it won't let you turn that to that. Favorite episode? Probably, oh man, such a good question. So many good ones. I like the one with the when they give everyone the flu. I also like the devil one. That's really good too. Pickle Rick. Pickle Rick's what, season 3? That's good too. So many good. I like season 1 too a lot. Classic Rick and Morty. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start at the very beginning. We're gonna take a random sample, and I'm probably gonna switch data sets, but let me just show you this right here. You need to be using this data set. I can use this data set. Let me use this data set, and I'll take the right amount random sample. I just follow the instructions, but I'm gonna change what I'm doing slightly here because I'm not gonna do it 100% what you're doing. I want you to see what to do it yourself, and understand how to do all this. Okay. So we have it. We need to take 300 plus the last two of our UTID. So make sure when you look at your UTID, it'll be something like 8421 or something. So if it's 8421 at the end, then you're going to go right here and you're going to go to tables and then you're going to go to subset. And since my UTID ends, this is mine, not yours. Mine ends in 8421. What will I enter in right here? Who knows what I will enter in right here? If it says, like, if it tries to open a file, that means you don't have. Close, Lucy, you're super close. You're super close. Nice job, Maya, right there. You're all right, Maya. You enter in 321. Now, this is because my UTID ends in 8421. Since it ends in 8421, I do 300 plus 21, which is equal to 321. So, forgot that. No worries, no worries. This is just, as long as you do it right on your assignment, you're good. We can also talk a little bit about visualization 1 right here for a moment. Because when you take this random sample right here, we'll click there. So make sure you have this clicked. You will know you've done this properly if you go right here and you get your random sample. This is the way you know you've done this properly. What I would do now is I'd go to File and Save As and call this like my random sample. So stop right here. This is your random sample for the project or for this visualization assignment. And if you are doing visualization 1, you simply need to just take a screenshot of this right here. Now you'll have, I think, 5 columns for visualization 1. Don't worry about taking blank columns over here. I think you can still see me screenshotting. My screen is frozen, but don't take all the columns to the far side. Just take to where the data is and make sure it's clearly visible. Was my screen paused while I was screenshotting or not paused? Yes or no? It was paused, yes, or not paused, because on my screen it pauses when I'm screenshotting. How long would you say each visualization take? Visualization 1 takes how long it takes to install Jump, and then 1 minute after. I'd say visualization 1 is about 10 to 15 minutes, most of which is you just watching a program install. How long did it take people to do visualization 1? I'd say most of them take 10 to 30 minutes. 10 to 30 minutes, most visualizations. Well, we're going to talk through the concept. 2 minutes, yeah. None of them are very long, especially if you know the steps to click and jump. Not that bad. But don't start them too late. Come to these, ask questions, we'll work through them, we'll talk through them. Good stuff. So now we see how to take a screenshot. On a Mac, hit Command-Shift-4 for those, and that'll send it to your desktop. So Command-Shift-4 or snipping tool on a PC, hit Windows button, type snipping tool. Please ask if you have any questions. So with this right here, let's look at the first visualization we're going to do for this. Create a bar chart using genre, using analyze distribution, and include the variables either counts or percentages above the bar. Take a screenshot of the output. So since we're doing a bar chart of our favorite pies, pie chart of our favorite bars, then what type of variable are we dealing with? Since we're doing a bar chart, what type of variable are we dealing with? Because bar charts and pie charts, this is review now, we should know this instantaneously. Bar charts and pie charts do this kind of data. Bar charts and pie charts do what kind of data? Bar charts and pie charts, categorical. Because you can make a pie chart of your favorite bars and a bar chart of your favorite pies. We have the data set in here somewhere. You know, maybe it'd be a good idea if I like labeled my data sets. It seems like a good idea. I don't know. So here's our data set with bars and pies. And this is how to make so I'm just using this data set now. Please use your data set. I'm just using a different data set to not do the assignment. Does that make sense to everybody? I'm just using a different data set. I'm going to use analyze, and this will be at the top for the Mac people. Go to the top of your screen. So Mac people, you'll go to the very top and go to analyze, then go to distribution. This is where you analyze one variable at a time. We go to analyze distribution, and then we're going to double click the variable we want to display. So you'll click genre. I clicked bar right here because this is the categorical variable I want to display. I'm going to click OK. And what have I made? What have I made right here? Who can tell me what this graphic is? Now be careful. I think it says, you'll say something to the side. It's not this. We'll talk about this later today. What have I made? I have made a what, because these are whats. What are all these right here? What are all those? What are those? No one knows. The class is stumped. No ideas on what these things are. If you've selected data you don't want to select, go to the top and go to rows and go to clear row states. This is a bar chart. On a MacBook, you'll go to the very top of the screen with the window selected. So go to the very, very top, and then it'll make the active bar appear, and you'll see Analyze, and this is at the very top. You won't see it till you go to the very top on a Mac, and you'll go to Analyze Distribution, and then you'll click Bar, and then you go here, and you got it. Does that make sense, Miranda? It'll be at the very top when you're in the active window. Like, make sure you have the window clicked, and you'll see at the very, very top of your screen. And this is a bar chart. I'm going to the top arrow and going to Stack. So Stack just puts it in horizontal format. Then we're going to go right here. I just like making mine bigger. These are all adjustments. But how do you select one of the categories? Oh, we don't need to. So I wouldn't select one of the categories. So don't worry about, and I would stack it. I think some of them require horizontal format. I prefer them stacked. It's just easier for me to read left to right than it is up down. I would stack it. The episodes they will be available later. You can even rewind these live. You can Katie, thank you so much helping out. And let's go here, go to histogram options, and go to count access. So I'm going to pause on these screens. You can always rewind and pause and all these things right here, but I also want to pause so you can see where I've clicked. The second red arrows are where your options are at, and then you can go to count access right here, and to stack it, good question, you go to the first red arrow and click stack. Does that make sense right there, Sarah? You go to the first red arrow, and you go to stack. Keep asking questions, whatever you're stuck on. Be like, Ryan, how did you do this? So to stack it, the first red arrow, and you go to stack, and to put and it's not a histogram, it calls it that. Now you go to count access, and we can go to show counts. Or there we go. I went to show counts, right? My vision is so bad. These are the options you could do show counts or show percentages. Did everyone do this? From here, you can do whatever you want. You can go to histogram options. Isn't there a color thing? I thought it let you change the colors. Histogram color, there it is. You don't have to do this. It's so bright. Oh, there. I don't like any of these colors. Purple. That's what we're going with. That's our histogram right there. Ours is supposed to be genre, right? That is correct, Julia. That is correct. If yours says genre, and if you selected something which you don't want selected, which I wouldn't want this, you could actually do this. You could select them all. I'm holding control. I wouldn't do this, but if you have something selected and you want to deselect it, you can go here to rows and go to clear row states. So rows, clear row states, that'll deselect data. If you have it selected and you're like, I don't want that selected, usually you select something to be like, this was the highest amount, and because you want to call attention to it. But if you don't want to do that, rows, clear row states. So what do we do from here? I think we're talking about the groups that have the most in them. Let's go look at the assignment real briefly. It says, include a short write-up of the 3 largest genres. Now, here's what you want to do. You want to mention, I'm going to kind of read off to you what I would say about this. Since it wants the 3 largest genres, I'm going to say, we surveyed Stat2 students asking them their favorite bar. And the 3 top bars was Hannah's, with 7 respondents having it as their favorite bar. Leaderboard, with 5 respondents having it as their favorite bar, and Barley's, with 3 respondents having it as their favorite bar. So I would list it this way. Does everyone see how I kind of gave, like, the top response was this, the second response was this, the third response was this, and I'm going to give the numeric amounts. So make sure to quote the numbers. We always want to give the data to people. Who's good with on this write-up? Is everyone good on how to write up there for genre and say the most I don't want to say too much. Like everyone's gonna write what I say if I say it. And we're like, wait, what was that, Brian? What was that? Wait. I think we're good on the first graphic. How are we doing? You should have something that looks like this, and you should be able to read off the numbers and understand what it means that people gave this response. Like when I said, what is your favorite bar to people? 7 people said Hannah's, 5 people said Leader, and 3 people said Barley's. How did you make the text option for the numbers black? So are you saying these right here? These numbers right here? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Colin, what's up, Colin? So good to see you here, Colin. You know what I need to get? I need to get a Tampa Bay Buccaneers shirt. Maybe that's too divisive. How do you unselect a bar on a Mac? Go to the very top right here and go to rows and go to clear row states. Go to rows and go to clear row states. Oh, I think I know what it is. It is possible you might be in night mode. So we're going to do a fix right now. You might be on graphic 2 because this actually has a problem. Are you doing graphic 2 right now, Sierra? Because graphic 2 has an issue with night mode on Macs. And I'll probably just have to show that video. So, where is it? I'm going to have to show. Here, we'll do graphic 2, and this should help you, Sarah, I believe. Sorry, there's just this. This has been going on for a while. I'm so sorry. Drives me nuts that this. Here, we'll check this out here in a moment right here. If you're on graphic 2, I'm betting that's where you're running into the issue, Sierra. Yes, I called it. Look at that. We'll check this out. So, Sierra, stay tuned. We're going to address that issue here shortly. So, let's go and do graphic 2. You ready? Okay, so you have your random sample, and it wants you to create a pie chart using Graph Builder. So we're going to make a pie chart from Graph Builder, include the label, either label by value or label by percent. Make sure to click done before taking your screenshot. Take a screenshot of the output and insert into your Word document. Include a short write-up of the movie ratings and their counts or percentages in ascending order. So you'll need to kind of give the movie ratings in ascending, which means from highest to ascending. So from lowest to highest, right? That's what ascending is, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong, but ascending would mean the lowest group to the highest group. Get some confirmations in chat. Got some thumbs up earlier. But so descending means like 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ascending means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I wouldn't think it a big deal if someone put it in the reverse order, but apparently we got to write them in ascending order. So let's make sure we do that. Okay, so you're going to be doing the variable MPAA, which is the movie association, whatever rating that they decide is appropriate for the movie. So make sure to use this variable. So we're going to go over here to jump, and we're going to go to graph, and then we're going to go to graph builder. Graph builder. We'll pause here. Make sure people do it. So graph builder. And with graph builder, we're going to take the variable we want, which I'm going to choose people's favorite pie, and we're just going to drag it right onto here. So I'm just taking the variable, dragging it right in the middle. That's all I'm doing. There we go. The next step is going to be to click the pie. Hey, it's a pie chart. And so now that we have the pie chart here, we're going to go right here and select no labels. And I like label by value. So I'm going to select label by value. There's the values. Okay, wait, you say, Brian, mine didn't appear. 2 seconds. You're Mac and you're on night mode. You're Mac and you're night mode. So we're going to hit done right here. Okay. If this worked and you have something like this, you're good to go. I need to give them an ascending order now. Mine has a lot, so I'd need to talk about the pumpkin, Oreo, and peanut butter were all tied with 1 vote. Next, we have the chocolate, cherry, and apple tied at 2 votes. The second highest was pecan, which had 3 votes for favorite pie. And the number 1 favorite pie was key lime pie with 6 votes. Key lime pie is awesome. Imagine if this pie was all of those different flavors. I mean, that'd be cool. Get a bunch of key lime pie. But everyone see how I went in ascending order and I talked about this. Is this live office hours going to be uploaded after? Yeah. No, it's right. It'll be available right after. You can even rewind this live. So if you're ever watching me do something and you get stuck, you can always pause and rewind it. So as everyone gets used to the YouTube format, which I really like. You don't see the graph button to pick a pie chart. Let's double check that Wyndham real quick, and then we're going to address the night mode issue. So I'm going to repeat the process again. Go to graph builder. Yeah, Dimitri right there saying just rewinding it. So go to graph builder, click on pie, and then drop or click on MPAA rating. To be very clear, you need to put MPAA rating here. You can also deselect points. Yep, your chart will show how many movies have each rating. If you notice, if you have points selected right now, you can click outside of here. So there are ways to deselect points. You can see I've selected things over here and I can just click away from them. So it's another way to like unselect stuff a lot quicker than going to rows and clear row states. That'll deselect rows also. Just kind of showing this. If you ever have data selected, you don't want it selected, you can always clear row states. On question 3 on the second visualization, we just need to talk about the 50% are. We got that, Madison. We got you covered. We're going to be doing that next. You bet. We're going to go into good detail on that. You need to talk about the proper measure of center and the proper measure of spread. So make sure to talk about the proper measure of center and the proper measure of spread. We'll have that done here in a second. So we're going to click on the pie right here. And the big thing you should be memorizing right now is pie charts and bar charts both display categorical data. Make sure to click this, and you have this right here. Go to no labels, go to label by value, and then click done. Now, if you are on a Mac and you're on night mode, please do the following. I'm going to show the video here because I'm not on a Mac. If you are on a Mac and you do not see the numbers appearing, it is because of night mode. So here are the numbers appearing. This is what it should look like. But if you have to go to, let me show you where to go. You will go to the Apple button. Is it okay if we didn't put our pie chart in ascending order? If you're in my class, just tell me. Like if you didn't, when you reported the numbers, if you didn't, you should be, I don't really care about that. If you're in another class, make sure to do it because someone else might be more strict on it. But if my TAs take off points because you didn't tell them in ascending order, it's not that big of a deal. It's more important to know that pie charts and bar charts both make categorical data. So you're going to go to that apple right there in the corner for your apple pie. And you're going to click right down here and you're going to go to system preferences. Does everyone see I'm pausing the screen right here? Apple system preferences. This is for Macs in night mode. Then you're going to go down here to general. General's over on the far left. I got a little confused. That's where general is. So Mac system preferences general. Inside of general, you're going to go over here and you're going to deselect dark mode. I'm selecting it to show the issue. In dark mode, the numbers don't appear. In light mode, it does. So that's the issue right there. Once again, just a quick review. Make sure to go to the Apple button, click the Apple button, click System Preferences. After clicking System Preferences, get confused, and then go over to General. When I was making this video, I was like, where is it? There it is. And then go over and click Light Mode instead of Dark Mode. So this will then have the numbers appearing. If you're in dark mode, they don't appear. If you're in light mode, they do. I don't know. So anyways, that's got that right there. Does everyone done with visualization 2? Let's get some yeses and nos in the chat. Is everyone ready for visualization number 3 or part 3 of visualization 2? Who's ready for part 3 of visualization 2? Who's ready right here? Because this is the one a lot of people are wondering about. Let's do it. Let's hop over here. We need some quantitative data. So let's go ahead. You are going to be analyzing. Awesome. So good. Jonathan, Katie, Mallory, and Maya. So let's see which variable you'll be analyzing. You are going to analyze tickets sold in millions. We need to go to Analyze Distribution. We're going to use the histogram, put it in horizontal layout. We're going to add a count access, take a screenshot of everything included. It might be because Jump's not installed. I'll drop that in here in the chat real quick. Double check to make sure Jump is installed. So double check that. And I'm going to drop this in the chat again real quick. Make sure Jump is installed. So double check, make sure Jump is installed. And email me if you're having more issues. And yeah, we'll get figured out. So we need to take a screenshot of this, and then we need to do a write-up. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so tickets sold in millions is what kind of variable? Tickets sold in millions is what kind of variable? These are things we should memorize after we should know instantaneously tickets sold, like how many tickets are sold. So tickets sold in millions, like how many millions of tickets are sold, is what kind of variable? What does that mean histograms display? We're going to cover histograms today. What do histograms display? What does a histogram display? And so the answer is still quantitative. Histograms display univariate quantitative data. It's a big note you should have is that histograms display univariate quantitative data. You should know that instantaneously. A histogram is a univariate display of quantitative data. That means it displays one variable at a time, univariate. These were univariate displays also, so every display right here is univariate. Hey. And these are categorical, and this is quantitative. So let's go back to the data. I'm going to use this data set, not this one. I'm going to use Where's a good data set? You know what? Let's make our own data set. Let's make our own data set. Okay, I want people to tell me, I'm going to order pizza. Let's say, sure. How many pizzas do people think I should order for our class? How many pizzas do you think I should order? I don't want to put an answer because everyone will copy mine. How many pizzas do you think I should order for our class? How many pizzas? 55. Sure. 70. 50. 60. 80. I need a lot more responses. 60. 45. 45. 40. 90. 100. 60. 50. 11. Cool. We need 20 responses. 87. Points. This might be enough responses. 2. Let's do this. Let's take a look at this distribution. So a distribution is just a display of data. 328. I like that right there. I like that. Thank you, PJ, right there. 328. Analyze distribution. You know what? I'm going to do something. 489. Cool. Okay, now we're ready to go. Analyze distribution. This is how you make your histogram. This analyzes one variable at a time. Analyze distribution. Do not do what I'm doing. You're doing tickets sold in millions. So your variable will be tickets sold in millions. I'm just making our own data. This is quantitative because it has the blue icon. So we're going to make a histogram right here. Here's the histogram. And let's go ahead and take a look. We're going to go to the top red arrow. You should be to this point right now with a histogram. We're going to go to the top red arrow. And under the top red arrow, we're going to click stack. This will put it in horizontal layout. So it's the same thing as horizontal layout right here. I'm going to extend this graphic just because I like it to look a little bit bigger. You don't have to do that. I just think it looks nicer. So now we're going to go to the second red arrow, and we're going to go to histogram, and we're going to go to count axis right here. So we're going to go to histogram, and we're going to go to count axis. I'm just pausing right here so you can get there. Pause. And there we go. Count axis. So this gives us all the information about the percentiles, which are quantiles. We have the mean, the standard deviation. We'll never calculate the standard deviation by hand. It's found for us. And we can see the standard error. We'll talk about that later. We can see confidence intervals, and we can also see the sample size. So an important thing to know right here, I think we have everything done for this. We've got the graphic visualized. This is your visualization. So when you look at a histogram looks a lot like what graphic? Don't get these two graphics confused, but a histogram looks a lot like what graphic? What graphic does a histogram look a lot like? It's not this, but it looks a lot like it. Bar chart, right, Lucy? Bar charts are categorical because you can make a bar chart of your favorite pies and a pie chart of your favorite bars. You should have that in your head and you'll never forget. And histograms are quantitative. Histograms are quantitative because when you ask somebody how many pizzas we should order, they're going to respond with a number. So it's an actual real number, and we can take the differences between those numbers. Now, we will be covering this today, so you're getting a huge start on this. When we have quantitative data, and let's take a screenshot of this. When we have quantitative data, and here's our screenshot. We're going to go right here. We're going to take a nice and perfect screenshot. Look at that. Amazing screenshot. And then we're going to go to our super document that we have because we have a really good document where we've been covering this. And we're going to drop in the data right here. So here is our data. We need to know about shape, center, spread. And you're going to be totally ready for today or tomorrow's lecture if you know shape, center, spread. These are the three things we do to describe univariate quantitative data. Shape, center, spread. Shape, center, spread. So when it asks you for the proper measure of center and spread, why do you think we talk about shape first? Why do we talk about shape first before we talk about the proper measure of center and spread? Why would we talk about the shape of the distribution before talking about the proper measures of center and spread? Which I'll have some ways. We're going to learn this, and we're going to be super ready. It's going to be in our head. We're going to be like, I got this down, Brian. Why would we talk about the shape first? It determines that you're 100% correct. When we talk about the shape, that will let us in on the proper measures of center and spread. So I've got some color coding to help out right here, but we have to first know what modality is. So when we talk about the shape, let's talk about the modality. Modality is just like peaks on a mountain. How many peaks does that mountain have? How many peaks does that mountain have right there? Pretty easy question. How many peaks does that mountain have? 1 peak. That makes it unimodal. That is a unimodal distribution. How many peaks does my mountain have? Be very careful. Be very careful. This is a mountain. Like, if this is a mountain, how many peaks would you say this mountain has? This still has 1. These would not be mountains over there on the side. That's just kind of little hills. Like, those are just little hills. So there is only 1 peak to this mountain. Like, does that make sense for everybody here? I can understand a lot of people say, wait, isn't there 3 peaks? But those are kind of just little divots in the ground. So, or outliers, what we would call them here in a moment. But this is still just like 1 peak to the mountain. But you want to say like a clear peak. Like, if your friend hiked this mountain right here and there's them on this mountain, would you be impressed if your friend climbed that mountain? I don't think I'd be impressed. So you'd be like, nah, it's not really a mountain right there. That's a little divot in the ground. So when you see modality, if you see like a bimodal distribution, you want to see some sort of clear peak. It doesn't have to be as high as the other. Like, you can see bimodality like that. That is a bimodal distribution, but you don't want to see something over here where it's like a little tiny peak. This right here is not so bimodal. This is somewhat bimodal, and this is definitely bimodal. Just see how I can kind of like put some describer words on it to say a unimodal distribution, a somewhat bimodal distribution, a strong bimodal distribution. So there's 2 strong modes to this distribution. This one right here is a unimodal distribution with outliers. So we really only talk about bimodal and unimodal. There is multimodal. Multimodal just means it has more than 2 modes. So bimodal, unimodal, just think about the word before it, and that'll help you understand what we're talking about here with bimodal, unimodal. And I did forget one thing. Where would this be? Wow, I forgot this. That's there is uniform. Can anyone break down what uniform means? Can anyone break down what uniform means? What does uniform mean? So break it down, like just the 2 parts of it. What does uniform mean? Distribution. My chat just opened up on my screen. It says I'm streaming for 5 seconds. Please tell me we didn't just crash. That was weird. We're still live, right, everybody? It showed up that I've been streaming for like 6 seconds. I buffered. Yeah, no, the screen like jumped. Yeah, no, it's weird. It paused and then it restarted. I don't like it when YouTube does weird things. So here we have a unimodal distribution. Here we have a uniform. Like, my chat opened and it said like streaming for like 3 seconds. YouTube, stop being weird. Don't do that. So now we need to know what skew is. So does everyone see the difference between a unimodal distribution? Let's highlight this right here. Here is a unimodal distribution with 1 mode. Here is a uniform distribution which has 1 form. So uniform, unimodal. 1 mode, 1 form. Uniform distributions do not have a clear mode to them. So clear kind of distinctions right there. So now we have right skewed or left skewed. Who knows my favorite saying? This is a saying you should know when it comes to right skewed or left skewed. Who knows my favorite saying? Who knows the saying about right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the tail goes? Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the tail goes. Exactly. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the tail goes. So now why do we say right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the tail goes when it comes to skew? Let's take a look at our data set we created, which I should never have this many windows open. When it comes to this data set right here, I want you to be very careful, and I want you to tell me, is this data set right skewed or left skewed? Is this data set right skewed or left skewed? Is this data set right skewed or left skewed? Is it right or left skewed? Right or left skewed? It is very, very clearly one of them. So I tricked everybody. Ooh, this is good. This is a trick question. This is where people make the mistake. Now, this is the same distribution. Is this one right skewed or left skewed? This is the same distribution. This is the exact same distribution you're looking at. Is it easier to tell right here? Is the tail pulled out to the high side or the low side? What way does the tail go on this distribution? There's the tail from Little Monster Dude. So why, and don't worry, a lot of people make this mistake. Why were people saying that this was left skewed, which it is right skewed? This is right skewed. Here's the issue. The issue is as follows. When you're looking at this right here, a lot of people take it and just do this to it. But what's wrong with this now? What is wrong with this graphic? Can you see the issue? The number line is reversed. So if you do it proper right here, which very common mistake people make, we want to rotate the image and flip it this way. Now you can tell it's right skewed because the numbers go from high to low. So what do you notice with the way this looks? The tail is being pulled out to which side right now? What way is the tail of the distribution being pulled? Now, don't say right or left. I want you to say something different. The tail is being pulled to the what side? The tail of the distribution is being pulled to the what side? The tail is being pulled to the what side? Towards the what numbers of the distribution? The high side. There you go. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the tail goes. So right is to the high side, which if we put this power, does that make sense to everybody? There's a common test mistake. I've seen it on some tests where we say like, which way is this skewed? And then people are like, oh, that's left skewed because we just take it and drop it down and then you can tell that's left skewed. Boom, done. And it's like, no, it'll be reverse number line. Sorry about that. It's just how data looks sometimes. But we know what skew is. Skew versus symmetric. We should be good on that. Let's hop back here. Okay, so now that we know what skew is, symmetric is just the kind of opposite of it, or it doesn't have any sort of real, this one up here is also symmetric. This whole computer is possessed. This is also a symmetric distribution. So this is also a symmetric distribution right here. Next but not least, we have outliers and gaps. So you can see some outliers and gaps up here. Here is a gap in the distribution. And let me do it in red because that's the color we're using for that. Here's and there's that. So there's outliers and there's a gap. Does that make sense what outliers are and gaps are in the data? So why are we talking about all this? Because whatever we answer here, that this is a unimodal right skewed distribution, which has some extreme outliers at 400 and a gap between, it looks like around 150 to 300 in the data. So there's a big gap in the data and there's some extreme outliers in this unimodal right skewed distribution. I will now be using what and what, and I've been using color coding here. What will be my measure and what will be my measure of center and what will be my measure of spread? What will be my measure of center and what will be my measure of spread? What will be my measure of center and what will be my measure of spread? Because I said it's right skewed, I said it has outliers, I said it has gaps. And the more of these you answer yes to, the more extreme the issues are here. This means my measure of center will be what, and my measure of spread will be what? What will be my measure of center? Center will be the median. Yep, center is median, and I'm using color coding to help out right here. Center is going to be the median, and then spread is going to be the IQR. And I have a really good, we did a lot of, I'm going to bring up that sheet from yesterday. Boom, look at this. Here's the big cheat sheet. So here's the big cheat sheet to know which one. Then we're going to interpret them here in a second. What are our two measures of center? When you do measures of center, what are the two measures of center that we use? Mean and median. The mean is the average of all the values, and we use it for normal distributed data, unimodal, symmetric, normal data. Most common for that. And then median is used for kind of skewed data, left skewed, right skewed, outliers. These are going to be issues we use the median for, which is the 50th percentile. The IQR is the range of the middle 50%, so it's a measure of spread. How far apart are these values? The standard deviation tells us a typical distance from the mean. So standard deviation is about how typically far things are away from the mean of the values. So that's going to be a measure of spread. So notice the color coding here. Take a screenshot if you want, put it in your notes, but you should know this instantaneously. There's two measures of center, mean and median. We use mean for normally distributed data. We use median for the skewed or outlier data. There's two measures of spread, standard deviation and IQR. Standard deviation is paired with the mean. Oh, don't say that. Standard deviation is paired with the mean and IQR is paired with the median. So let's go into some interpretation right here. So people are like, yes, let's interpret these things. So how would we interpret the median. Sure, why not? No, I want to keep this good for today's class because it's a really good graphic. Okay, so the median interpretation would be the 50th percentile of blank is blank. I need help here. I need people to tell me how to interpret. I should have here we go. This is the age of students. There's a crazy outlier. So I want somebody to interpret the data right here. Who can interpret the data right here? So this is median interpretation. Take a moment and see if you can interpret the median right here. Use what I have above for the median interpretation and type it in the chat. Just be like, oh, well, the median is this will help you understand the median is this. And then we give the context. This is where you give the context, and this is where you say what it is. So who can do that? We can probably still finish chapter 2. The 50th percentile of ages students is 20. Boom. That's it. You just give the context for the data. All data needs context. So the 50, nice job right there, Lucy. You know what? We're saying 20 so much. I wish I could do like active users in the chat. Who wants 20 points? I gotta stop doing this. For people who are watching live, people are already at like 1,000 points 1 week in. There we go. We dropped some points in the chat right there. I like to do that like 2 or 3 times throughout lecture. Keep watching live. I'm considering making even higher tier levels so people can, but like the rewards are going to get really small, like an extra 1/10 of a point on your grade. How do you make the histogram? So this right here, this is like extra info. Like don't worry about this. So that is the mean, and the distance of it is the confidence interval, like the diamond right there. This is a very weird histogram. Most histograms will not have this sort of crazy shape to it. Most histograms will look more common with the diamond. It's because of the small sample size. Oh, you're welcome, Drew. Anytime, man. But that's where the mean is at. The mean is at 6.7. So if you trace down the center of the diamond, that's where the mean is at. That's not really part of the histogram. It's part of how Jump does box plots. And then the top and bottom of the diamond is the 95% confidence interval. You don't need to know that. It can help you out. But this is a very odd box plot right here. The histogram, your histogram should look more like, I think I have one that looks more like yours. Your histogram should look more like this. Did people get histogram that looks somewhat similar to this, like something like this? And you can see there's where the mean is at. And do you notice that the mean follows the skew? Does everyone see right here that the mean, which is 156, is above the median? So when things are right skewed, the mean will be what to the median? When things are right skewed, the mean will be what to the median? This is a concept we should know pretty quickly too. When things are right skewed, the mean will be where to the median? Greater, exactly. The mean will follow the skew. Like if it's left skewed, the mean will follow the skew that way. So the mean is not a good measure because it's going to get inflated or decreased depending on which way the skew is. That's why we use the median, because the median is not impacted by these outliers, which could drastically impact the value of the mean. So now let's do the IQR. Now the IQR, so the range of the middle 50% of blank is blank. Yeah, that's good. I want to talk briefly about what the IQR is, just so everyone knows. The IQR, I want you to break down what IQR stands for. How much of the data is in the interquarters here? Does everyone see where my interquarters are at? These are the interquarters. There is 50% of data. Someone's saying, chat, I should never answer questions. You won't answer if I answer them. 50% of the data. Nice job right there, Jonathan and Lucy. 50% of the data is in the IQR. So does anyone know how to calculate the range for the data? Like, what is the mathematical equation to calculate the range? Like, does anyone know you take the big number minus the small number? Like, the highest grade was 100 and the lowest grade was a 40. How do I calculate the range? Like, what would I call that highest number in a data set? What would I call the lowest number? How do we calculate the range for a data set? I am confused. So are we supposed to put the IQR interpretation in the median? Yep. Max and min. Yep, Madison, you are correct. You will need to interpret the IQR and make sure to describe the distribution. So make sure to answer thoroughly whatever is asked You will hear all the answers here, but make sure to like take in the answers and be like, okay, now I'm supposed to interpret the IQR, and I'm kind of giving some good, like, make sure to give the context. So Madison, great questions right there. So I want you to come up with an idea right here, because if we do max minus min, what would you call this blue point right here? And what would you call the other blue point? Like how much money do we have at the first blue point? We kind of have, 1/4. So let's call that Q1. And what would you call the other one then? Well, that's kind of this. And this will be Q3. Technically, the median is Q2. So the median is actually called Q2 sometimes. I don't usually call it Q2, but the median can be called Q2. If you ever hear Q2, they mean the median, like 2/4 of the data. So who can come up with the mathematical equation for how we find the IQR? Who can come up with the mathematical equation for how we find the IQR? Just look at this. Remember, we said max minus min is the range of the data. So how would you find the range of the middle 50%? So if you understand this, you'll be like, oh, it's just the middle 50%, Q3 minus Q1. Yep, that's it. If you understand how this is done, exactly, Q3, it's hopefully people didn't know that before. It's just like, oh yeah, it's just the range of the middle 50%. It's the Q3 to Q1. You get the distance, you boom, you got it. I don't know if I sound like a New Yorker because I'm from New York. So let's look at some data where we have an IQR to calculate. And who can do this one? Who can calculate the IQR right here? My microphone's blocking it, so you'll never know. And I'll show you how to make it appear right here in the data so you don't have to calculate it. I mean, you should be able to calculate it. Like, if this was a test question, you should be like, the IQR is this. We should be able to get the IQR super quickly right here. You should look at this and be like, oh, the IQR is this. So what is the IQR of this data? What is the IQR of this data? 2, exactly. And we get that from 21 minus 19. The IQR is 2 right here, just 21 minus 19. And if you go to summary statistics right here, customize summary statistics, and you can click IQR. So it'll calculate it for you, but you should know for a test how to, like, you should, yeah. So with this, who can interpret this? And then we're gonna take more questions. And we'll double check and make sure everyone knows what to put for the assignment. And great job on the points, everybody. Excellent work. So what should we put for our interpretation of this? There's the IQR, it's 2. So what should we put for our interpretation? What should our interpretation be? And great job today, everyone. Excellent office hours. Always hop in. I'll always try to take votes to see what people want to do. So if it's your office hours. Sometimes I might overrule the vote if there's like 5 320 students and 20 201 students, and we haven't done any 320 for a long time because there's fewer of them. But I always try to be as democratic as possible. The range of the middle 50% of the age of students is 2. Daria. That'd be 100% right there, Daria. That's exactly it. The range of the middle 50% of students is 2. That's it. Nice job. And I think Madison put it also. The range of the middle 50% of the age of students is 2. That's the context. So make sure to put your context right here and give the actual number right here. So when you're talking about the tickets sold in millions, the range of the middle 50% of the tickets sold in millions is blank. Lurking so you can get your points. Yes. Hey, I don't mind at all. We appreciate it. Let's hop over and look at, oh yeah, because you're 320, right? So good having 320, Adam. We put it in horizontal layout. We got the count access. We took the good screenshot, include a short write-up, identify the shape of the histogram. So we talk about the modality, the skewness, the gaps or outliers. So for this portion right here, don't write it up in bullet points like I did. I mean, they should accept that. So does this make sense here, Madison? For this portion, you should be talking about, like, write some full sentences, like you're writing a report to someone about, the shape, where you're talking about, is it unimodal? You're gonna be like, my distribution is I don't know. I'm gonna say something that doesn't apply to yours. My distribution is multimodal with some left skew. Don't write this down. My distribution is multimodal with some left skew. There's an extreme low outlier. And there's gaps in the data. You could mention the extreme low outlier, but does that make sense what you're going to do for what I have highlighted right here? You're going to talk about the shape. Then you're going to say, due to this shape, the proper measure of center and spread are going to be, the median, which represents the 50th% of values found, go back to our interpretations. But, due to the shape of the distribution, the proper measure of center spread would be this, and then make sure to give interpretation of those values. Does that make sense right there? Or does this sound good, Madison? I think we should be good. Should have a big, nice job. Yeah, Madison, so good to have everyone here, like, asking questions. What should we do for the last 17 minutes? I'm trying to think, when's class start? I gotta look here. Class at 1:50, regression. Gonna be coding away. What should we do here? Chat, I need your help. What should we do for the last 17 minutes? So people should be done. That took about 1 hour, but hopefully you have a better understanding. But who finished their assignment right here? Who got all of visualization 2 done? Day one, like, I'm done with visualization 2. Done. Homework 2. Let's hop right to homework 2 because we got 17 minutes. Let's do it. I hope people got it done. It's kind of my goal. Let's hop here. And whenever you're working away on stuff, just hop in here and be like, hey, Brian, can you do this? Like if a 320 student popped by, I would probably be like, okay, Brian, I'm really stuck on how to do this. I'd be like, let's do it. Let's do a little 320. We try to help everyone. Okay, we only got 4 questions. Psh, look at this. We're gonna get homework 2 done. We got this. And look, it's a perfect review of what we were doing. Okay, so with homework 2 right here. You're welcome, Jonathan. So good to have you here. I have another class now. Thank you. You're welcome, Hannah. I have a work in a minute, but thank you, Brian. See you next time. Oh, awesome, Katie. Great job. Great job. Okay. Look at this. We're talking about modality right here. This is a stem and leaf. I selected the right answer by accident. You're welcome, Sarah. You too. Have a great day. So this is a unimodal, bimodal, or uniform distribution. We're talking about the shape of it. Does this look unimodal, bimodal, or uniform? You're welcome, Abby. You can just type 1, 2, or flat. That's sad. What do you think here? Unimodal, bimodal, or it's unimodal? I selected it by accident, so it's the right answer. It's unimodal. Right job. Nice job, Lucy. So now is it left skewed or right skewed? I'm gonna get this one wrong. What way do the numbers go? Do they go a little more to the right? Careful, because the number line's reversed. Do they go to the low side or the high side? I really don't like this question right now. I've gotten this one wrong before. It's just not a good obvious one. I'm between 2 answers. And I wish this outlier wasn't here. Because if that outlier wasn't there, it would definitely be what? If that outlier was not there at the top, this would definitely be this skew. Like, and there's a way, if you're ever wondering, I'd be left skew. So this is where we get tricked. Because when we have this, and I'll show you right here, this is the mistake commonly made. Don't worry. I swear I'll look at things sometimes. If you do this right here, the image is reversed, and it might look like it's right skew, but you have to flip the distribution around. And so we're going to rotate it. Remember, right to the high, left to the low. And so just realize that those are the small numbers right there. So if we did not have this number up here, this would definitely be left skew. So it would definitely be left skew if we didn't have that one observation. So I'm iffy on it. You'll get to see the right answer. But if you were ever like, I don't know what the skew of a distribution is, you can always just go right here and jump, and you can just literally ask it, what is the skew? So jump has a skewness option. Where's skewness? There it is. You can go right here to skewness, and it'll tell you the skewness of a distribution. This is obviously right skewed, which is positive skew. Yeah, no, it's very easy to do, Adam. And so this is right skew, which is a positive number. And you can also do it in R. I won't do that right now, but R has a function skewness from the E1071 package. Enough on that. Let's say that it's left skew. Here we go. Of course it's left skew. Why did I even question myself? It's a little bit of left skew. It has a little left skew. A little bit of left skew. The center of the distribution is where? Is it in the 20s, 30s? What's up, Dan? So good to have you here. Is the center of the distribution in the 20s, 30s, 40s, 40s? Nice job right there, Daria. It is in the 40s. Look at this. We're destroying this quiz. The number of home runs has a range from, and this is how we have to read this. This means it's in the zeros. Like if this is 9 right here, that's 9. And then up here is 76. So this is called a stem and leaf. Nice job, Daria. Knowing how to read this is very important. What does this 6 represent right here? So wait, 2, 5, 6, 7? What does this 6 represent? So 1 year during Mark McGwire's seasons, he hit 46 home runs. That's what that 6 represents. So there was a year where he hit 46, a year where he hit 45. What's going on with the nothing in the 60s? That means there was no years where he hit home runs in the 60s. So there's no years that had home runs in the 60s. Oh, that was the last one. An unusual feature is that outlier up there. I think that's right. Yep, there's the outlier. That's unusual features. Okay, this is called a dot plot. A dot plot is just like a histogram. We're doing univariate quantitative displays of data, and all the dots are just going to be stacked up. So all we're going to do right here is just look to see And you could plot this in jump, but there's a 4 right here. So there's only one 4. So that narrows it down to either this graphic or this graphic. This graphic right here has 2 zeros. This graphic here has 4 zeros. So which graphic will it be, D or F? This one has 4 zeros. This one has 2 zeros. Dot plots are univariate quantitative displays of data. You should know that. A dot plot is a univariate quantitative display of data. This is a dot plot. So do I want the one with 2 dots or 4 dots? It is D. Nice job right there, Clarissa. It is D because there's 0 and 0, and that's the 2 dots right there representing the 2 observations. And that's got it. It's going to ask, is that right skewed or left skewed? It might ask that next. Is that right skewed or left skewed? So the one we just checked, is this going to be a right skew or left skew? Like what way does the tail of that monster go? I think it'll probably ask it next. Oh, it wants it's unimodal. It's got one peak. It is going to be, is it right skewed or left skewed? What way does the tail go? Goes to the high side. Right to the high, left to the low, whatever way the tail goes. That is an easy one. That one's right skewed. And let's see. What is the best description of the center? Don't even read these answers yet, because here's where people are going to get tricked. I'll tell you the easy way to know the two. We just said it was skewed. Since we said it was skewed, are we going to use mean or median? Since we said it was skewed, are we going to use mean or median? Since we said it is skewed, are we going to use mean or median? Good to see you here, Andrew. We're going to use the median. I'm trying to think where the noise is coming from. Discord. So since it is skewed, we're going to use the median. Exactly. Now you might be wondering, is it 1.5 or is it 5.6? Is it 1.5 or 5.6? Well, to get 5.6, the averaging of numbers would have to be really weird. Since all of these are whole numbers, the median is the average of 1 and 2. Does everyone see how I'm kind of just understanding theoretically that everything here is a whole number, so we're just averaging 1 and 2. That's like what they did to get this. To get 1.6, you couldn't get that from averaging 2 whole numbers. And the way you find the median is you find the middle number. Just a quick review on how to find the median again. So when we find the median, if we have 3 numbers, we put them in order, and we have like 2, 8, and 10, and the middle number is the median. If we have 4 numbers, there is no middle number. With 4 numbers right here, what would be the median of this data set? And this is kind of what I was realizing for this. What would be the median of this data set when there's 4 numbers? There's no middle number now. So what would be the median number? We put the numbers in order and we find the middle number, but there's not one. So what would be the median of this data set? So the median is the 50th percentile, the middle number of the data set. When there's an odd amount of numbers, there is a middle number, and Lucy's right, we just average them together. So you could get decimals and stuff like that, and there could be a number that doesn't exist. Nice job, Stephanie, right there, and Clarissa. The median is the middle number, and sometimes it doesn't exist because this right here, the average of these two is a number that doesn't exist, and that's why we see for this data set, 1.5 being the median is the average of this. Now, these are not in order, but if we did, we'd get 1.5. The spread of the data goes from 0 to 4. We will get this homework done. Good, I was like, I did that quickly. Any unusual features? No unusual features. Unusual features are gaps and outliers. Okay. How many points do football teams score in their championships games? The total number of points scored by both teams in each of the 11 championship games are given below. Complete part A and D. Okay, so it wants the median. I'm going to check something. I'm so worried right now that this one's not going to work in jump. And maybe I might even adjust this on my Pearson. One of these has had problems. Don't you love all the problems? I say that and I laugh. Let's see if this works properly. Okay. So when we find the median right here, we're going to go into jump and we're going to open a new data sheet. You can open a new data sheet with File, New, Data Table. File, New, Data Table. When you go to File, New, Data Table, you want to go to the top column and paste. Be very careful. Sometimes you'll have to paste with column names. When you paste with column names, you see it didn't like that. It'll paste the column name at the start. It just depends. This one does not have column names. So let me repeat this process. You want to start a new data sheet with File, New, Data Table. When you start a new data table, you will either paste or paste with column names. We're just going to paste because we do not have column names, and this is going to make life easier as long as the data works. And so now we're going to make a histogram here by going to Analyze, and we did this for the project, distribution or the visualization, and then we're going to choose the data we want. This will make all the answers for us. So let's hope it likes it. And I think this will be good right here. We got this is, I have too many graphics open. I need to close them off. Okay, the median is going to be 43. It'll like that one. So 43 is the median. And find the quartiles. This is where I've seen Jump have issues. Not today, my Pearson. Not today. Is it seriously opening them? Where's my graphics being opened? The way it's organizing this is so weird. Why can't I find it? Really? There we go. The quartiles, let me put it over here. You know, we'll screenshot it. Make life easier. Let's see. Everyone's getting ready for class right now. We got 6 more minutes. Let's finish off this assignment. Okay, I've got it on the screenshot so I can find it a lot easier. Let's open it back up. Can you go over how to get the median after you paste the numbers again? Yeah. So, yeah, great question right there. To get the median, so once you have the data inside of Jump, let me open a data sheet where I have numbers inside of it. So once you have the data inside of Jump, you're going to go here to Analyze Distribution. Does this make sense here, Grace? You're going to go to Analyze Distribution. With Analyze Distribution, you're going to double-click column 1 and then click OK. And this will get you the histogram right here. So we're going to click OK, and then your data will look different than this, but that's how to do it right there. That is how to do it. Let's hope these quartiles work today. So you're welcome, Grace. Okay. Not today, my Pearson, not today. Please tell me if it counts you wrong or anything. Hopefully it doesn't count me wrong. 43, oh, wrong one. It's wrong one. Let's put an X on that. No, that is not the 25th percentile. Here is Q1 and here is Q3. Sorry, how do we word our write-up for the movie rating percentages? Check out about 10 minutes ago, Maria. Rewind this. But check it out, and we went over it. So rewind, and you'll see me going over that portion. Does that make sense, Maria? I can talk about it tomorrow if you want. During office hours, I've got like morning and noon office hours, but we talked about today some. We're gonna finish this, but Maria, great question right there. So 3661. You're welcome, Maria. Anytime. 3661. Woo! Thank you, Ma Pearson. You better not tell me that's wrong. Jump told me I'm right. Is this the one that tells me I'm wrong? Same process right here. Copy the data. Go over to Jump. I just know like one of these has had issues. Paste the data in. Please tell me if you get stuck on that. And let's go here to Analyze Distribution. Let's go and look at this. Ma Pearson, you better not be. This is the one, I think. This is the one. If you do it in, you know what we might do? We might do this one by hand here, because this is the one where Ma Pearson gets mad. The mean price is going to be $8.20. So we can get the mean right here, $8.20, pretty quickly. Maybe we need to like remove this. Or did I remove the questions last semester? It's so weird. The median price we should be good on also. I didn't take a screenshot of it. I've still got, okay, let's do it real quick again. Let me take a screenshot of it. Analyze distribution, double click. Got it. Let's take a screenshot of it. So good to have everyone here, Elizabeth and everybody. Let's go ahead and screenshot this. Okay. It's not a screenshot because we've got way too many windows open. Okay, screenshot's got it. And there it is. So here's our distribution of data. And we want the median. The median is going to be 800. Now, this is where it gets mad at us. I've seen this, where this question gets mad. Let's go ahead and work this one by hand by going to a new Word document. We've got too many of those open anyways. And let's go back to this. We got just enough time to do this. And let's do this one by hand by taking the data values. So what we're going to do here is we're going to find the IQR by hand, which we really never ask you to do. It's just this one can be a bit odd on my Pearson. So to find the IQR by hand, you need to put these numbers in order. Please tell me if I get something wrong right here. 550, 650, 700. Oh, my eyes are blurring. I need to check these off. 550, 650, 700. We got another 650. And I put that out of order. Oh, I put 750. 650, 650, 700, 2 800s. And then 900, 950, 1350. Okay. So that's got everything correct right there. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So that makes this the middle number right here. With that being the middle number, this is the way to solve this one right here. Here's the median right here, which is going to be 925. And here's the median right here, which is going to be 650. 650, 925. Does everyone see how I did this? Yeses or nos in the chat. I did that a little bit quickly right there. But does everyone see how I turned this into two data sets basically, where you've got like a data set here and you've got a data set here. And that is how to find it. We never put a question like this on the test. I would not want this question type on the test. Nice job right there, Grace. So don't freak out. Don't worry. Amazing job, Sarah, right there. I love it. Like, you're the first diamond tier, I think, and you're getting near to like some awesome tiers. And we probably need to put in more tiers in the class. I'll have to remember for next semester, like how I teach and like, because I'm trying to be more strict on the point system this semester. I mean, if you notice, you're doing such an awesome job. I love it. You're leading the way. 650, 925, right? Wait, what was that answer? Really? Did I write a number wrong? What does Jump say the answer is? This is like the bane of my existence question. Let's go look at the data. Not today, my Pearson. Jump says it's 912.5. Should I have just done it in Jump? Q3. Ooh, you'll get to find out what's after Diamond. You'll get to find out. Did I make a mistake here in this data? What in the world? Let's double check. 900, 950, 1350. Yeah, I know. Just send me an email, Madison, and I'll correct it. I might even and you know what I might try to do? I might even log into my Pearson and try to adjust this question. It's like a my Pearson question. We'll end here in 3-4 minutes. I'm really not happy. This question, there's always these small little things that break or things. Ooh. Did I? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Grace, great job, Grace. Where did we miss the number? Grace, you're right. Nice job, Grace. Okay, so we missed a number. That's why. So let's go see. Where did we miss a number? Let's check them off as we go. You ready? Okay. I lucked out that I got these portions right. Okay. Oh, I highlighted that. That's why. So we have to... Okay, let's get this. Let's get this question. This is what happens when you make errors. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Does anyone see the extra numbers that I missed? Let's check them off. 1350, 950, 900, 800, 850. There it is. 850. So now we divide it into two even parts. Here's the two even parts. Even part 1 and even part 2. And then here's the center there, and there's the center there. So it's going to be 900. So there's the error. So the answer will be 900. So let me give some big tips for this question. On this question, the way it's formulated right now, and I'm probably going to I'm going to majorly adjust this question if I can make adjustments to it. And I'm going to send out some, there we go. Does everyone see how I found out right there? The range of the distribution it goes from 550 to 1350. That's 800, I believe, if I'm doing that right in my head. So that's the whole range. The IQR is 250. It's the distance those two numbers are apart. And there we go. That's got it. So I did forget a number, Grace. We got to put down some Brian errors today. But with that does it for office hours. I'm going to hop off here because I'll be teaching in 15 minutes. So great job, everybody. We'll head off. Any other last questions? Anyone here to say goodbye? Hop here to space real quick. Play our outro song. Oh no, it's the wrong sad music. You're welcome, PJ. let's not end on a really sad note. Let's end on happy, sad music. You're welcome, Leslie. You're welcome, Lucy. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I really appreciate it. Lots of work today. Anytime you have questions, just let me know. Email me, bstevens@utk.edu. Bye for now, everybody.